This is Tasmania, the island state of Australia.
Tasmania is generally very laid back and relaxed.
A common description of Tasmania, and there's no doubt it boasts an island way of life. Located in the Southern Ocean, south of mainland Australia, white sand stretches for miles. But you won't find sprawling resorts. The climate is temperate, with 4 distinct seasons. And here's the best part. The pace is slow and the air is pure.
A third of the state is in some form of protection, either World Heritage Area, National Park or State Park. A lot of people come down here for a variety of activities because you can go sea kayaking. On the sea cliffs you can obviously go rock climbing, there's quite a lot of bushwalking as well.
Most visitors start their tour in Hobart, the state capital. Founded in 1804, there's a real maritime feel to this city. With cafes and restaurants galore, seafood lovers will be in their glory. Hobart's side streets are full of charming little cottages, many of them heritage properties. Salamanca Place is the hub of action with its pubs and artist studios. Hobart is a colourful place, and while it may not pulse like Sydney or Melbourne, there are some offbeat ways to explore. Sidecar tours not only spin you around town, they travel 4,000 feet up Mount Wellington, giving the term whirlwind tour a whole new meaning.
Well, the Mount Wellington tour is the ultimate ride. We're fortunate that the mountain summit actually is in the alpine level, so it's very environmental, but riding in the sidecar is old-fashioned fun.
You can say that again. Mount Wellington towers over the city, offering a fantastic vantage point. The unique landscape up here has attracted explorers since early days. You'll find plenty of hiking paths and, thankfully, a sheltered lookout. Even with 17 national parks, Tasmania is quite a compact place, and travel distances aren't huge like mainland Australia. In the distance is the Tasman Peninsula, site of Tasmania's most popular tourist attractions, once known as one of the cruelest places on earth. Just an hour and a half from Hobart, the Port Arthur Historic Site was formerly Australia's most dreaded penal colony. From 1830 to 1877, it housed the most troublesome convicts shipped out from Britain and the colonies. Most were thieves, but that was not the only reason people ended up here.
You can be transported for political crimes, crimes of violence, sexual crimes or sexual deviancy. You can be transported for being drunk on your ticket of leave.
Port Arthur started out with a British system of punishment. Basically take criminals out of society, lock them up in a holding pen, and after their sentence was up, let them go. But after 1842, the system here slowly started to change. Port Arthur adopted a more American prison style. The emphasis was on penitence and reform. Unfortunately, it took a while to evolve, and there were many horrible experiments along the way. Separate treatment, a type of solitary confinement, was one of them.
This is probably the most dreadful punishment at Port Arthur. Flogging pales by comparison with this. Coming in here was like entering another world. It was another world. It was a world of silence and solitude. They had matting on all these floors, guards wore felt slippers over their boots. Part of your uniform as a convict under separate treatment was that you were not allowed out of your cell until you'd put a mask over your face.
It was a lonely, dismal life for prisoners at Port Arthur. Even in the chapel, socialising was not exactly encouraged. Be sure to dedicate a full day to explore this important historic site. Start with the Interpretive Centre, which sets the scene for arriving convicts. cruises tour around the island where prisoners were buried. You can also stroll through the prison's exquisite gardens, landscaped just as they were back in the 1800s. Not for the prisoners' enjoyment, but rather the wives of the guards and wardens. And here's the spookiest way to end your visit to Port Arthur, a ghost tour.
One of the reasons why Port Arthur is so haunted is very simple. It was a very dark place to be. But almost every building here in Port Arthur has at least one haunting. What we experience as ghosts generally fall into two categories, and by far the most common is lost souls or earthbound spirits. Human beings like you and I who have died but have failed to go over to the other side. Now they come back, they'll talk to you, they'll interact with you. Some of them appear to be real people. We've actually had people think they were actors dressed up in military uniforms and things. The other thing we experience though are recordings. Certain events are so intense they have become recorded or imprinted in the place where they occur. And when the conditions are right, we see a replay of the event.
For more information, visit our website on topoftheworld.net.